Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dig in.
Okay, again. Today we're tackling a topic that, let's be honest, everyone's got thoughts on. Yeah. Parenting styles in the U.S. You know, it is. You do a little family gathering. Everyone's got a different approach to raising kids, right?
Delay.
And you're kind of left wondering, is there a right way?
Oh, for sure. It's like everyone's got a secret playbook.
Exactly. So we got some excerpts from this fascinating text about parenting styles. We'll be diving deep into the trends, motivations, what's shaping the way parents are raising their kids these days. It's like a cheat sheet for understanding all the different perspectives.
I want that. A cheat sheet.
Right. Okay, so first off, this text points out this almost 50-50 split between parents who are raising their kids similarly to how they were raised and those who are doing things completely differently.
Yeah, that's a really striking observation, like a fork in the road.
Yeah. So let's talk about those two paths. You got the following footsteps parents. They're all about passing down those classic values. Respect, integrity, a strong work ethic. It's that if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of approach.
Exactly. It's about preserving a legacy, right? These parents often believe those values are what led to their own success, so naturally they want to pass that on.
Right. It's like handing down a family recipe for success in life.
It really is. And the text even mentions how some parents prioritize maintaining religious traditions, focusing on the moral and ethical teachings of their faith. It's about carrying on those traditions and providing that sense of continuity.
That's so interesting. It makes you think, like, what values would you naturally pass on, without even thinking about it?
Great question.
Then you've got the charting a new course parents, the ones who are intentionally doing things differently than how they were raised.
Right. And that often comes from a place of like reflecting on their own upbringing and thinking, okay, how can I improve on this?
Yeah.
Like maybe they grew up in a home where showing emotions wasn't encouraged, so they're extra focused on creating a space where their kids feel comfortable expressing themselves, fostering that emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Or maybe they felt like their own creativity was stifled, so they're super encouraging of their kids' passions, whatever those might be.
Exactly. It's all about breaking those cycles, right? And creating a more supportive, understanding environment.
It's a fascinating dynamic, just back and forth between tradition and forging your own path, right? But here's the thing that really struck me. Despite these two seemingly opposite approaches,
Yeah.
there's actually a lot of common ground.
Oh, absolutely. I think regardless of which approach parents resonate with, there are some universal desires.
Like,
They want their kids to be responsible, well-mannered, the kind of people who contribute positively to the world.
yeah, that came through so clearly in the text. Education, for example, is a huge priority across the board.
Though how that looks might differ.
Right? Some parents are all about academics, top grades, the whole 9 yards.
For sure. And others are more focused on like broader opportunities, exposing their kids to different experiences, fostering their creativity.
Right. It's like everyone wants their kid to thrive, but the definition of thriving can look really different.
And the text even mentions that this might be because the world is changing so rapidly. Parents are trying to equip their kids with the skills they need to navigate, like a totally different landscape than what they grew up in.
It's so true. Like emotional intelligence, adaptability, these things are like essential now.
Absolutely. And this whole conversation that has got me thinking about the role of society, like how can we as a community support both parents and children in developing these crucial skills? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there needs to be a more holistic approach to education. It can't just be about like test scores and grade.
Totally. We need to be preparing kids for the real world. The whole package.
Totally. And, another area where we see things evolving is in discipline.
Yeah. The text touches on how there's a shift happening, right?
Absolutely. Like physical punishment is becoming less common.
Right. There's more awareness now about the long-term effects of different approaches.
Parents are thinking more about the emotional impact, the kind of relationship they're building with their kids.
Exactly. It's less about punishment, more about guidance.
Exactly. So I guess the big takeaway here is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to parenting.
Right. It's a tapestry of different factors. Personal experiences, cultural influences, societal norms.
Yeah. And we've only just scratched the surface here, haven't we?
Oh, totally. There's so much more to explore. Like, how does socioeconomic status play into parenting decisions? What about the influence of technology?
Yeah. And what about the next generation of parents? I mean, how will their approach be shaped by the world they're growing up in?
That's a great question. The one thing that really struck me, though, is that no matter the approach, most parents ultimately want the same thing for their kids.
What's that?
Happiness, health, success. However they define that.
Yeah, that's the fascinating part. Like, what does success even mean in today's world? And how will that definition continue to evolve?
Exactly. That's the conversation that needs to keep happening. What do we value? What do we want for our children? It's constantly evolving.
It really is. This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's a reminder that parenting is a journey, not a destination. We're all figuring it out as we go.
And that's okay.
It is. The important thing is to keep learning, keep reflecting, and keep the dialogue open.
Totally agree. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this exploration of parenting styles. We hope it's giving you some food for thought. Until next time.